Welcome to this channel. The channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So today I'm going to share with you on breathing. This is a very important topic. You need to pay really uh, a lot of attention here on what I'm going to share with you. You probably want to watch this YouTube many times, but this is a critical one, okay? Uh, Otherwise, you're going to live in the rabbit hole. It is not necessary for you to live in a rabbit hole, especially for us in the United States of America. This thing has to clear up right now. We don't have time to waste. So let's start with, I'd like to share with you one thing which is lead to the breathing. The first thing is this. In the previous YouTube, I share on the mind power on Nimlik. So I have post a post in many forum. Mind power is who you are. Technique is just an extension of your ability to complete a task. And if the technique is not doing the job, create more technology. Okay. Now, we need to be careful. We are human. And the mind power, which I talked in the previous YouTube, those are who we are. Okay. All techniques, technology, those are just an extensions of us to do job. If we need a car, we invent a car. If we need a robot, we invent a robot. If we need to have this techniques in Wing Chun to face this style, we invent it. Those are for growth. We created, in Wing Chun, we have enough people, enough talented people. So we can invent whatever we want. However, the really critical thing is we need to call back ourselves, which is the Nimlek, which is the mind power, as what I share with you in the past two YouTube. Okay. Never ever that you get trapped into this technique, that secret technique, this lineage technique, that authentic technique. Never ever you want to be like that. Why? Those are just something you create when you need it. You must call back yourself, your own mind power, develop it, or else it is the end of the game. Okay? Be really careful. You know what is the main and what is the subordinate. Technology is just a subordinate. The main is you. So what lineage, what authentic, it doesn't matter. The matter is the Wing Chun ancestor in the 1850 Shulim Tao. The first thing it tell you is what? Call yourself back. So put that in our mind, in our heart. Always ask the first thing. Are we present? Okay. Otherwise, you're going to get trapped by whatever the techniques, lineage, or whatever, all those things. Who knows? Those things are created for commercial purpose only. It do nothing good for you. So it's like today you have all this technology, you call convenient. But until someday you have robots which can do your job, then that means you lose your job. So that's why call ourselves back. Okay, especially right now is an artificial intelligent robots era. You need to know who you are. You need to develop that stability in the mind or calmfulness in the mind or the calmness in the mind or mindfulness as what I share in previous YouTube. Very important. You lose that, you're in dead end and you become slaves of somebody. Okay? So this is the first thing I like to share with you. Make it really clear. When you go learn something, when you teach your student, or when you teach your kids, get the mind, call yourself back first. Okay? Now, in the past 100 of years, Wing Chun have a problem. Actually, have not just Wing Chun, Chinese Kung Fu have a problem after the 1860s, the approaching Wing Chun era until today. People is rely on like this. This is a fiction called uh, 展心상. Okay, so this is about the Wing Chun, the king of Wing Chun, Liang Zhan. And this is how the Liang Zhan fighting the Taoists. And this is by this person, okay, this author in Hong Kong. Okay. So in the past 100 years or so, you are based everything on this kind of stuff. Did they teach you how to be mindful? To learn what is the reality? No. It just feed you all kinds of fiction which is non-exist. And if in America we continue to do this, it is called hopeless. This is fiction. The guy who wrote it doesn't even know what it is. And he just edit whatever they like, to present it as what they want. Is Liang Zhan the king of Wing Chun? I can tell you by history he's not. By history evidence. And then you see that, and then people start to using the king of Wing Chun, king of this, king of that in the past a few decades. So it is playing movies, okay? If you don't call back yourself, like over here, I say here, one can have those lost soul, old techniques collection, different version, lineage of set, Chi Sao Wooden Dummy to fight Western boxing, wrestling, Thai boxing, Kyokushin, BJJ, which are continue to grow strong with their soul. Okay. So if you're thinking all this kind of stuff, well, with all your whatever secret lineage technique, it is like using a 1950s car try to race today's sport car. Get out from that, man. Don't waste your life. Don't waste your time. Okay? Now, so last time I shared with this YouTube on the transitions between Nimlik and breathing, and I show how you can use breathing to actually know what type of art one is practiced. So there's a transitions into the breathing. So today I'm going to share with you breathing. Now, so I share last time, I share in a small clip on how Grandmaster Yip Man plays Xiu Lim Tao, check on his breathing. And this is Yin Kei San's top student, Sang Nam, how he did his Xiu Lim Tao check on his breathing. And you can see There is signature there. Okay. Now, so let's talk about breathing today. Breathing. Breathing is the last essential part of Wing Chun today. Like it or not, that's a reality. Breathing element or the parts does not exist since 1860s pro Ching Wing Chun. When they create their three sets, there is no breathing there. Of course, we speak by evidence. We know the document. As last time I shared with you, you can go to check all the photo and the YouTube of all the grandmaster, disregard lineage. You look at them. If you cannot find the grandmaster which already passed, you can find the students of the grandmaster. You look at the YouTube, you can screen all those breathing. The answer is it doesn't exist. And no breathing parts mean non-function Wing Chun. It doesn't work. So what do you mean, Hendrik? It doesn't work. This is Mas Oyama Kyokushin. Pay attention to his breathing. This is Rickson Gracia, BJJ. Pay attention. So you want to face the real, the reality, the real thing, like Kyokushin, like BJJ, like Western boxing. You better have your breathing parts, or else it's non-function. Why is it? Why is it we we need to bullshit each other on whatever it is not working? That's a war, man. Okay. So the idea is to install the lost essential part of Wing Chun. We know 1850 Wing Chun, 1860s Wing Chun, the approaching Wing Chun of 1860 from the Dai Fa Min Gam, Ji Sim, all those people, Feng Xiuqing, all these people, including Liang Zhan, do not have the breathing. We know it today. We can analyze it because we know all the thing, we know the science, we know the ancient. And after this YouTube, you will see there is none there. Okay. So the idea is not to put down everybody, every Wing Chun lineage, but to install the lost essential part. For heaven's sake, it is too late to blame. It is too late to say this lineage have this, that lineage have that, or want to argue with me. You are facing people like that. You're facing people like that, and the style and the technology like that. If you don't have it, tough luck. Nobody gonna wait for you. Okay, this is a real war. Like in the war, you lose, you lose. So the idea of me making this YouTube is to so that you put it back what you lost. Stop to playing like know it all, but don't know it at all. And no, breathing is not those Tai Chi, internal Qi, internal magic, Fa Jing, all those nonsense. Have you ever seen any Tai Chi people go up into the open tournament fight like Mas Oyama's fighter or Rickson Gracia's fighter? Have you seen that? They couldn't even fight Xi Xiaodong. So forget about those, okay? Now, one thing I want to share with you, I just remember. People have been asking me, what is this? What is this? Well, this is the poem by General Qi Guang. Well, I explained to you this two thing, okay? This the uh last two line. This say this is Qi Guang, okay? Qi Guang said to become a high level official, have a high title is not my intentions. I just hope that the ocean wave calm down, settle down. The ocean wave meaning the invasions of the Japanese warrior. Okay. I put it here to share. This is General Qi Guang's poem, and this is also my intention. I have no intention. I have no love in all those high title grandmaster and so forth. My intention is like Qi Guang here, but smaller, much smaller. He's in military, man. So he want to settle the invasions of the Japanese warrior or the pirates. I just hope that all Wing Chuners, come on, leave your rabbit hole. You want to make money? No problem. You want to be a grandmaster? No problem. But for heaven's sake, whatever I share in this rabbit hole YouTube, the basic, learn it, master it, develop it, be the real. So this is what it is, okay? So stop to go to those Taiji internal chi, and you have this guy with his friends, his student, and all those kind of things. Well, have anybody just asked Mas Oyama to be your demo partner? Or how about Rickson Garcia? Or you want to fight them in the real ring? See how many seconds you will last. That's called real life, okay? I'm being straight with you because martial art is not for what? As I always said, if I have a daughter, I'm not going to let him to learn those type of stuff where you just give her false security. You're just going to put her into dangerous situations. So breathing training. Okay, so this is in my book, Decoding Wing Chun. This is the Shaolin saying. There is a saying in Shaolin, if one don't practice breathing, no matter how good the martial art techniques are, it will be useless. So this is in Chinese. Okay. Now you see how serious it is without the breathing. That's why you see like Rickson Gracia, Masoyama all have all this breathing stuff. You want to fight? That's what you have to follow. If one don't practice breathing, no matter how good the martial techniques are, it will be useless. That is the real teaching of Shaolin, not this Shaolin Shaolin, Moi, Jisim. But have you seen anybody practice breathing? Now, I'm going to share with you after this today, you'll be able to know. You'll be able, because you have the foundations, you'll be able to read into what Mas Oyama do, which type of breathing training he is, what type of breathing training Gracia in his jiu-jitsu training have. You need to know that. It's like you want to make a war, you need to know what your opponent have. You be able to read it, at least you have the same educations. It is hopeless if you go continue on this king of Wing Chun this and king of Wing Chun that, or this Feng Xiu Qing or that thing, okay? This is real life, okay? Not magic, not once upon a time, this story that here says. That's what you face. So Shaolin tell you already, okay? If you don't have breathing, your techniques is useless. If one doesn't practice breathing, no matter how good the martial art techniques are, it will be useless. Okay? So how come all your Chi Sim and Mu and all these people don't tell you? And now we need to be careful on this. What is the real life? So just cut it really go down into the core of 1850s Wing Chun breathing training. There are three types of breathing. You need to handle these three types of breathing. The first type of breathing is the Qi neurosync training, belong to the rest or recovery type of training. This type of training uses subtle breathing, meaning you want to cause your body to recover, deep rest, deep recover. You need to use the subtle breathing, period. Okay? Fitness training is aerobic training. This type of training using common breathing. This is called qi. This is called xi in Chinese. So for fitness, for that those are the same with today's language, the aerobic training. Those are using the common breathing. Now, for strengthening training, or belong to today, we call it lactic threshold and anaerobic training, which is for fighting. This type of training uses windy breathing. Meaning when you are in this type of situations, you going to use this type of breathing. You better get familiar with it. You better train with it. For aerobic is this type, the common breathing type. For the recovery or your chi, your real internal chi, you better have the development or the skill to do the subtle breathing. So subtle breathing in Mandarin is called xi. Common breathing, which is for fitness aerobic, is called qi. Strengthening training or the fighting training, you know, belongs to the anaerobic, the really high tensions fighting activity that is called windy breathing or feng. So feng, you if you listen to people breathe when they have this really high intensity fight in the ring, you hear noise come out from their nose or their mouth. Those are the windy breathing. And for the aerobic, like today, the zone 2 training, you walk and you still breathe pretty fluently. Those are the chi. The subtle breathing is so fine, so smooth that it is like when you're in deep sleep. You like it or not, this is within the Shulin Tao 1850s. If you don't have this develop, you cannot handle the Shulin Tao 1850 period. This is Kung Fu. I'm telling you here, not that I'm the grandmaster, as the last time I shared with you. It's like I go to engineering school, I can tell you what exactly in the engineering school people learn. Okay. So there are no room for those. Oh, are you calling yourself grandmaster better than Liang Zhan? All this nonsense BS. This is a war. You need to face this. You need to face this type of martial arts. You better know this. Okay. Now, the subtle breathing is in the world of natural. It's completely natural. You let go and let it be. You get there. That's how you develop it. As for the common breathing and the windy breathing, those are the windy breathing is all here. It's very forceful. Uh, the common breathing is like half and half. Okay. So the subtle breathing is over here. The common breathing is in between. The windy breathing is here. So when you're training is on your deep recovery and so forth, nurture chi over here, you are using the subtle breathing. For fitness, your aerobic here, you are just using your common breathing. Or this strengthening for fighting, for full accelerated fighting and so forth, you are using the windy breathing. Got it? You need to develop be able to get into the states, the physiological states of this breathing states. This three type of breathing is three type of states, physiological states. Okay? So if people tell you they have qi gong, then you want or meditations, they can have a deep meditation, then you want to check on their subtle breathing. If they have no idea what is subtle breathing, then you know it's bullshit. Okay? And qigong, sometimes the fitness qigong is over here, as what I share with you is in between. Those are still not the subtle. So that those kind of things cannot get you into the deep recovery to recover your body. Okay? And if you don't have the windy breathing, you cannot fight. You will not be able to be in here working in the zone 4, zone 5 heart rate zone and have a full accelerated impulse momentum handling, which is fighting and sprinting, all this kind of stuff. So get this for real, okay? Now, there's one thing I want to tell you. So this six core element. In six core element, this is a really basic. This is more in details in advance. In the breathing element here, in six core element, there's a noisy, panting, chest breathing, natural breathing. Noisy breathing is actually wind breathing. Chest and natural breathing is actually the common breathing. The common breathing, or the breathing which is go toward the subtle. Okay. So in the natural breathing, one can be in common breathing or already get into the beginning of the subtle breathing or get into the subtle breathing. Okay. Uh, the chest breathing for sure, this is the common breathing. Now, what is panting? Panting, panting breathing. happen in this thing here. So panting breathing is when you do not have a full natural exhale or inhale. When you cut short your inhale or you cut short your exhale. And after a while, you doing that, you feel like it is stagnated inside your body. Like sometimes you want to burp. Those belong to the panting breathing. And you know that in exercise, sometimes if you breathe, your inhale, your exhale, you prematurely terminate it, or you stop breathing and so forth, you can get into that panting breathing. Those are disaster. Uh, it can cause your energy blockage for long term. Now, in the strengthened breathing, you will see that too. Sometimes in the fight, suddenly somebody throw you a punch and you have to stop breathing right away, pressure, exhale, those kind of thing, and you will get into this big chance. That's why in the wind breathing, if you happen to have that panting, it is very damaging. Sure, you win the fight, but you're still causing damaging with your body. For long term of that, it's causing damaging. As for this, the subtle breathing in the chi neurosync, it has to be smooth and refined, smooth and fine. Okay, it will have no panting at all. Okay. So you have to be careful. You have this subtle, common breathing, and you have the wind breathing. And over here, if you do not handle your breathing properly, your inhale and exhale, either you too quick terminate it, or you inhale, you suck in too much, inhale too much, you get into the panting breathing. And panting breathing will cause your uh, your 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 calmness, your calmness to disintegrate after a while because you couldn't breathe. Your breathings got stuck here, stuck there. So your focus, your concentration will scatter, will dissolve. The common breathing here, if you prolong it, you feel tired. It's like you even if you do a zone 2 training, after a while you feel tired. Only in this subtle breathing that you always feel calm down. It's like when you're in deep sleep, in your sleep, it recover your body. You don't feel that scattering in your mind, losing focus. You don't feel that you are tired. Got it? Your Shulin Tao has to have all this breathing, okay? So this is how when I practice my subtle breathing. And so if you see in the subtle breathing, you see the breathing here. Okay, over here, you see this curve. It is really deep breathing. Okay, now let me start again. Okay, first is the subtle breathing. This is subtle breathing. And now it start to get into the common breathing, the chest breathing. So you see that I just change my body slightly. I can change into the subtle breathing, from the subtle breathing to the chest breathing. You need to know how to develop that. See, this body position is all this deep breathing, which is the subtle breathing, smooth. And now I change the positions. It become the chest breathing is forceful, is not that natural anymore. And this type of breathing, it will make you feel tired after a while. Okay. Again, you look at the curve here, you look at my body, how I change it. Okay. So this is again subtle breathing. for your chi neurosing. Now it changed into the clamping stand. Now get into the chest breathing, and then all this breathing is narrow and so forth. Okay, your ordinary or your common breathing. Okay, so that's the first thing in Xiu Lim Tao. When you start Xiu Lim Tao, when you stand there, that's how the breathing. And for the common breathing is when you do this. Okay, so the common breathing. So for your fitness, your aerobic, those things. For warm up your body, that's the common breathing. So in the part of Xiu Lim Tao, when I do this, those are using common breathing. Okay. So over here, if I do it over here, that is the subtle breathing. And then there's a common breathing. And if I do this, that is uh, the wind breathing. So this is when you exertion, the entire body shoot out exertion. Like if you watch this one, you can see my body bounce, okay, shake. Okay, so watch it again. Heavy inhale, heavy exhale. Sprint out like type. So in one Xu Lin Tao itself, you have that subtle breathing, you have that nurture chi training, you have that common breathing where uh, you actually smoothly you warm up joint by joint, you activate your body. There's a common breathing like the aerobic type, and then you got the windy breathing where you got the strengthen training, exertion training, in high intensity strength training. Okay, so you got it. Okay, so I explained to you over here already, and I show you this three thing. Okay, this is the saddle, the saddle. Okay, so this is the saddle. You see that the curve is good. Okay, those are the subtle breathing where you stand up there, and then this is for your common breathing where you activate your entire body smoothly. You warm it up, you activate it, and then when you do the exertions, heavy strength, sprint out, those are you're using that breathing. So expect to be able to do that. If you master, not even say master, if you really learn the 1850 Xiu Lim Tao. And one thing I want to tell you about that, about all this breathing, it doesn't matter. It is the subtle breathing, the the common breathing, the 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 windy breathing. Okay, so it doesn't matter. It is the chi neurosing or energy neurosing training, the fitness training or the strengthening training. It doesn't matter. All of those has to be have a proper handling of your pelvic floor muscle and your diaphragm, meaning these have to be synchronized. And due to that, it creates the intra-abdominal pressure. Okay, so while you inhale, you create the intra-abdominal pressure inside your body properly, where one side you push down the pelvic floor, another side is your diaphragm. Now, so in all your breathing, it doesn't matter it is subtle, it is the common, or it is the windy breathing. You all have to have a proper body handling on the uh, pelvic floor muscle and the diaphragm synchronizations. Okay, so this is a healthy way to do it, and you'll be able to generate the uh, intra-abdominal pressure, which is actually solidifies your core because you want to fight, you want to thrust out, you want to sprint out. All those you need to have your core, stability of your core, solidify your core, and also you want to take impact. Somebody going to punch you, you need to be able to take impact. You need the pressure. That's why you look at Masoyama's body. Look at it again. All those playing with this intra-abdominal pressure and your breathing, you have to have a proper. If you don't have a proper, you're going to cause yourself hernia or damage your internal organs. Same thing with our friend uh, Rickson Gracie. So you need to have that handling. Today, in Wing Chun, there are serious problems where people don't do this. Their body is tilting. And they end up that they're like this case is they're not using their pelvic floor muscle, they're using this lower abs and their diaphragm, and using this lower abs and the diaphragm. Those are problematic. Those can cause hernia, can injure your internal organs, can cause high blood pressure, and so forth, so forth. So if you do 修炼 you're going to say, oh yeah, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do this. My lineage is doing this. You have no idea on the science here. You're looking for trouble. So to summarize for you, you need to know three types of breathing for training in your recovery, your deep rest, your fitness, and your strengthening or your fighting. You need to avoid on the panting in the breathing, where your inhale and exhale is mishandled, or maybe sometime accidentally, or sometime due to in the fighting, you need it. You need to exhale or you need to stop breathing at that time because you are in fighting. Performance is much more important than your body. Those type of stuff will cause your body to damage for a long run. If you exceed the limit of the body, it exceed the limit of the body on your diaphragm or on your pelvic floor muscle, you know it's trouble. It's going to cause you internal injury. Okay, and you never want to do this kind of nonsense. Okay, where people tilting their body this way, suddenly inhale, jerky in their breathing, and really coarse in their breathing. You don't want to do those kind of stuff if you never train. So I share with you here scientifically, we can measure it, and with this, you see, I walk my talk, okay? And I share with you all this thing. And of course, scientific measurements in the subtle breathing. I can handle my breathing down stably over here in a very stable way. Oops, I lost it. Too many things here. Okay, so I can handle all those things, and so scientifically, if you can handle a subtle breathing, you see the breathing here, the breathing here, I can actually, after I drop the breathing down, I can have it settle down there. Okay, there is a science of you be able to handle the subtle breathing. And then in terms of fitness of breathing, you need to have your like in here you can check your lung capacity, maximum inspiratory pressure, maximum expiratory pressure, and then your your cardio fitness is just like your VO2 max, those kind of thing. That's for fitness. And then for fighting, because you need to have it's in the high intensity uh, uh, zone 4, zone 5 anaerobic training, you need to be able, like this is a zone 4, zone 5, to see, okay, this is my maximum heart rate, be able to get, like this is a 6 minutes in the maximum heart rate here. So meaning that if a 3 minutes per round, I can do 2 rounds. This is when I'm age 60, 62 or something a few years ago. And of course, you get your VO2 max here for the in the high heart rate. So this is the lower heart rate. This is like aerobics. So this is what you need. If you have the subtle breathing, you will have this characteristic of handling your breathing. And as this one I have just shared with you on your deep breathing, and then also influencing your heart rate variability because you are in the deep recovery. So when you recover, your heart rate variability will go high, like post-workout. After you post-training it in the natural chi, your heart rate variability will go high. If you do the fitness, which is the common breathing type, you can have this measured, and then for fighting, you have this measured. So I need to walk my talk. I need to show you what the heck is going on. No, I am not the grandmaster, but we do know what it is. Okay. We know the type of breathing. We know what you want to get into. We know how to get into, how to develop it. Okay. We know how it looks like when you practice in the 1850 Shilim Tao. You know how the physiology or the in the medical science, how this thing works, what to avoid, and we can measure it. So this is prior to my retire. I do the last time, check it out, all this thing. To see is to believe, right? I don't want to stand there just talking big talk, but not be able to show you scientifically what it is. The notions, as I put in the beginning on here, Qi Qi Guang want to settle the ocean's wave. I just hope that all this what I'm doing be able to help Wing Chuners. If I can develop it, you can develop it too. Now we know what it is. We have the way of developing it. Why don't we just put it back to your Wing Chun? It doesn't matter what lineage your Wing Chun is, just put it back, okay? Only you put it back, then you can par with, like the karate, like the BJJ, or else you don't have nothing. And you don't even know what is there, what you need supposed to train. So that's about breathing. So all those things and that's just a lot of details how you fight with it and everything. Those are in my book, Decoding Wing Chun, in Amazon. And always the the basic, the six core element is in the basic Wing Chun art and science. These are basic textbooks. Okay. So I just share with you what is the key important thing, which is missing in actions in Wing Chun for past since 1860s until today. When they start with the red boat from Tai Farming, Gam, all this thing, they don't have it until today. So today in America, I share this with you. And we know even more. Why? Because now we have the Western medical science, sports science, and we can merge into it. We can map and we can see what it is. And we can get result and we can do it even better that we don't screw ourselves. Because we have scientific measurement. That's why I just tell you, no, we do this, we're gonna get this result. But we need to avoid this. If you want the recovery, you need doing one thing. And you don't want to be ridiculous like people say, I play chi. You can play all the chi, the subtle breathing, the recovery you want. But if you never train in the windy breathing, you drop that in seconds when you fight. On the contrary, the sad tragic like Bruce Lee, he doesn't know the subtle breathing. He pushed himself so much in the windy breathing area, body damage. The Chinese know it in ancient. And today in science, we know it already. That's why I keep saying, if Bruce Lee lived today, then that tragic will not happen. He will know that, oh, you need the recovery for the training. So just one Xiu Lin Tao, three type of breathing. And you want to avoid that panting breathing where you feel stuck. And you need to know that your diaphragm and pelvic floor muscle synchronize. You cannot say, well, I just using my tucking my tailbone, doing this to my spine. Bullshit. Okay. You do those kind of things, you will never be able to fight Kyokushin. You'll never be able to fight BJJ. Why? You never be able to fight Western boxing too, or Thai boxing or MMA, because people are based on medical science, not based on this grandmaster said that grandmaster said that. Did that grandmaster know what he's talking about? So here I'm doing education. I'm not interested to put down anybody. But whatever is not proper, you better get away from that. Well, why do you want to screw your own brother and sister or your own army? If this thing is the disaster, you better walk away from it. So this is what I like to share with you. Okay, you might need to watch this YouTube many times. You want to develop all those breathing type, or else you don't know, or else you don't have internal Wing Chun. And if you don't have the windy breathing, you don't even have a Wing Chun which you can fight. Just look at the Western boxer. Didn't they train windy breathing in the windy breathing when they get into like the fifth round, the sixth round? So what I like to share with you in the breathing is here. Get out from this rabbit hole. You never win in this rabbit hole. If you continue talk about lineage, my grandmaster, the king of Wing Chun, the internal blah blah blah. Admit it. I don't have it. I need to learn this. I need to put this basic back to my training. Or else, you will not be able to fight the fighting martial art of today. It's a reality. Okay. This is year 2024 already.